Hey TechNation, I'm excited to bring you another live demo for our Tools of the Trade program. And just like last month, again, we're going to share that this one is eligible for one CE credit from the ACI. So attendees tuning in today, 1 hour after the completion of this demo, you're going to get an email that'll have a link to a post broadcast survey. If you complete that survey, once you submit it, you'll be able to obtain and print your CE certificate right from your desktop. We'll also email you a copy in case you're on your phone. You can print it at your convenience. I got a couple of reminders for you, TechNation community, before I introduce these lovely people that have joined me today. Always want to remind everyone that the MD Expo is coming up in October. It's going to be in Orlando, Florida. You can see some amazing technology on display there, like technology from the Cinch team that we're going to see today. If you want to learn a little bit more about the MD Expo, you can go to mdexposhow.com. The dates are going to be October 29 through 31. So be sure to save those dates and make sure to join us. Other reminder that I want to share with you, I hope that you've heard TechNation that we're going to bring something brand new to the industry in 2024, and it's called the Tech Choice Awards. This is going to be the first 100% nominated by and voted on by the biomed and HTM community. There are 13 categories for awards. They include some really cool awards like Professional of the Year, Department of the Year, Association of the Year, Lifetime Achievement, and Ingenuity Awards. So if you have someone that you want to nominate, or if you want to nominate yourself, please go to onetechnation.com. At the top of the page, you'll see some information about the Tech Choice Awards. Please make sure to get those nominations in before November 3rd. Now, let me introduce the people that have joined me for this Tools of the Trade live demo. This month, we are talking to Cinch, and we're going to look at the Cinch MRO platform. If you haven't heard of this company, I'm going to tell you a little. Cinch is the best of breed SaaS CMMS plus asset management system that includes real-time asset history, maintenance, repair, purchasing, inventory management, subcontracting, and warranty claims. Customers log into the Cinch portal through their own websites to manage their entire operation in one place. Doesn't that sound great? Technicians can see their work queue, follow a guided inspection and maintenance process, add notes, you can upload photos, you can add MRO inventory parts to the work order, you can even see asset-specific user repair manuals, and so much more. So Cinch also offers lightning fast filtering and searching on asset catalogs by customer location, asset type, asset status, work order status, plus your custom requirements. I love that part, your custom requirements. So I know you're gonna wanna learn more about this company. Their URL is Cinch, that's cynch.me. But let me introduce the panel today. First, I wanna introduce Dan. Dan's the CEO of Cinch and he enjoys skiing. He's also a flying private pilot. That's awesome, Dan. I didn't know that. And you can follow him on X. Find him, I'm going to spell it out for you, at SALLISJR. Next, I want to introduce Jody to you. Jody is an ERP expert with over 20 years of experience helping companies of all sizes grow and achieve their goals using software and automation. And last but not least, I have my friend Alfredo Ray. He has 13 years of experience as an EP and software marketer developing. I'm so sorry, Alfredo, we're gonna say that one more time. As an EV and software market developer. He's helping companies do more with Cinch in the Mexican manufacturing and the US medical space. He can also play a mean game of volleyball. I know that about him. So Alfredo, I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to you so you can tell us a little bit more and we can learn about this amazing MRO platform.
Perfect. Thank you, Jamie. Hi, everyone, and I want to thank you for being here. We've seen just how much this community adds value to the industry and to each other. So it is a real pleasure to share with you today and to be a part of it. Now, about Cinch. Cinch is a best-in-class unified total asset management system. Today, our Senior Solutions Engineer, Jody Barr, will show you just how Cinch can help you transform and accelerate growth using next-generation software and automation to dramatically increase your productivity and equipment uptime. Sounds cool, right? So without further delay, let's dive in and turn to Jody Barr. Jody, please take it away.
Thanks, Alfredo. Welcome, everybody, and let's talk about Cinch. So Cinch is a purpose-built platform. It's built to maximize the uptime of medical devices using automation to accelerate labor-intensive processes. So what kind of labor-intensive process are we talking about here? So labor-intensive processes around hospital in-house PMs, biomed or third-party PMs, depot repairs, anything about maintenance and repair. We're also automating asset management, automating guided work orders. So the work order process no longer has any kind of paper, no longer has any kind of Excel spreadsheets, fully automated and digitized. Same thing for the warranty claim procedure, all automated and digitized. And why do you want Cinch? So first of all, Cinch was born in the cloud. Cinch was never any kind of a legacy system that was rewritten, and it's not any kind of an on-premises system that was just moved to be hosted in the cloud. It's a true multi-tenant SaaS solution, which means there's no version upgrades. You're always on the latest features of the product. All hardware, infrastructure, maintenance, upgrades, security, scalability, all of that is provided to you by Cinch. Cinch offers an ultra-modern architecture, so we're using a single-page web application. It's built on Angular and Node.js. Couchbase, we're using AWS for infrastructure, and we're also using Elasticsearch. So Elasticsearch for speed. You may have heard of Elasticsearch. It's used by the very largest websites because it can handle an enormous catalog. You'll see the speed of Elasticsearch filtering and sorting as we go through the demo. Cinch is also browser and device agnostic. So any kind of device is fine. You can use your smartphone, your tablet, your laptop. Any browser is fine. You can use Chrome, Safari. So any equipment that you already are using today, you can continue to use with Cinch, and you don't need a specific mobile app. That single page application is going to work just fine without the need for anything additional. Cinch offers a regular cadence of new feature releases. We're always rolling new things out, and customers do have quite a bit of input into what new features we're including in our roadmap. We also offer extensibility. So if there's a process you would like to create or you'd like to change something we already have in place, we can always build that for you. The answer to is it extensible is always yes. Now there's lots of key benefits to using Cinch. I've listed a few of them here. Of course, maximizing equipment uptime, that's our big benefit. And we do that in real time. So your asset management and asset history are always real time and up to date. Reporting also real time. The system uses role and permission-based dashboards so that you have people only seeing what they need to see for their jobs. For example, technicians would not see invoicing. For example, there. So role and permissions based. The UI is very intuitive, user-friendly. We've had it tested extensively by Cinch customers. It's much faster and easier to learn than legacy systems. And Cinch offers greatly improved productivity. So we're automating and digitizing processes to get rid of paper and spreadsheets. We have streamlined order creation, just a few clicks to create a work order. Faster work order execution because we have guided workflows. And the last benefit, accurate, high quality work using asset-specific checklists to ensure no steps are missed. And we'll see those checklists coming right up. Cinch is a unified platform, so everything we offer is on one single platform. Today, we're going to be focused on maintenance. We also offer repair if you're doing repairs in a depot setting. We have MRO inventory management, which is also 100% real time. If you take a switch or a plug out of that bin, it's decremented immediately from inventory, so our inventory is always accurate. We have warranty claim management for any of our biomeds out there. We do have sales management. So we're managing quotes, we're managing contracts. We have a pricing engine built in. And then you can do customer specific pricing on your billing and invoicing. Customers can approve work orders before you do it and invoices after you do it. So lots of functionality there. We offer subcontracting in case you're sending anything out to a third-party supplier. All of that is tracked. And we have full e-commerce. So if you're selling new or used equipment, you want to sell end-of-life equipment, Cinch will create an e-commerce experience for you. Specifically for hospital asset management, Cinch offers guided workflow with checklists. So work queues are available by department or by person. All notes, specifications, everything is captured. It's very easy for your technicians to access manuals and diagrams. All of the equipment is serialized. We can include asset tags for your equipment. If you'd like to put a tag with a barcode or a QR code on the equipment, that makes it really easy for staff in the hospital setting or in a clinic setting to go ahead and scan that tag with their smartphone to report a problem. We have fully automated communication, lots of great security features that hospitals are particularly interested in today. And we do have a customer portal. Again, you can report equipment problems, see your dashboards and reports. You can see the history of your assets and everything that's been done to them. And you'll always have access to your data here. So you own your own data and always have access to it. I did want to share a customer success story, and this story is not unique. This is the kind of success story that almost all Cinch customers receive. So this one is about a medical equipment repair team in Texas. They have a regular contract for a 4-location hospital, 1,000 PMs, and it used to take them 7 days. After implementing Cinch, down to 3, which is incredible. Now, how did they cut that much time out? They were using a paper-based system to look up information about the assets beforehand. So now it's nearly instantaneous for all that information to come up on the screen. If you take 6 minutes times 1,000 PMs, you're looking at 10 hours saved out of the project, more than a full day saved, because everything is digitized regarding your assets. The work order for the 1,000 items generated with a couple of clicks of the mouse, and there was no back-end double entry of the PM data. So that was eliminated. It saved 40 hours of labor in the week right there. And so your company could expect to achieve the same level of productivity gains with Cinch. All customers report similar outcomes. ROI for the software is almost immediate. Now let's get to the fun part. Let's see the product demonstration. Today we're going to focus on 2 roles. And remember, we had that role and permission-based system, and each role is going to have their own priority. So we'll see Allie, the asset manager. And so Allie is going to manage the assets, and she's going to use them to create accurate orders. So we're going to focus on the PM work order today, and then we'll see Frank, the technician, actually carry out that process. We'll see him using digital processes and the guided workflow, and that's going to provide very high quality assurance. So here is an example of a website for, this one happens to be a biomed. And what Cinch will do is Cinch will either put a login on top of your existing website, or we could use a subdomain where everybody would log in, but everyone logs in here. Users, customers, vendors, partners, everyone will log in at the same place. And once you're logged in, you can see I'm already logged in. You'll see the main menu where you'll do things like add vendors, manage your inventory, add users. Primarily, your users are going to manage from these 2 shortcuts that are added to the top navigation of the website, the order list and the asset list. So now Allie's going to manage the asset list and create that new preventive maintenance work order, or PM. So with Cinch, the work order creation process starts with the asset. So an efficient and accurate order creation process is what's going to set you up for success. So Allie's going to click over here to bring up the asset list. And you saw in just a matter of a second, we brought up 18,358 assets. There's your speed of Elasticsearch. It brought that up in just no time at all. Allie's going to manage all assets for all locations in one place. So here are the owners. So these are all the different locations that she's managing. They're all here in the same list. And there's lots of information for you here. So beyond the make and model, we have everything is serialized. So you always know the status of your asset by serial number, plus who did what, when they did it. You can create that separate asset number if you would like to use an asset number and an asset tag. We have a risk column here to anticipate the risk, perhaps, of an item failing. And then we have the owner, we have the location. And if you notice, as I scroll over here, we have the little edit button. There is inline editing, which is really handy. So let's say this item was in front office 6 and you moved it. So you can just change that easily. Now it's in front office 2, so everybody knows where the equipment is. There's no running around looking for who did what, where did they put it. So assets get preventive maintenance on a regular schedule. So unlike other software, Cinch can alert you if the operation, and can alert the operations team if PMs are coming due, or perhaps they're overdue. You can create a status. Is it up? Is it down? Is it out for repairs? And open reports that have been reported by the staff in the hospital or clinic can appear here. The lens is scratched, a bulb is burnt out, so someone has gone ahead and reported that. And then if there were any FDA recalls on the item, we have a column to show that kind of information here as well. So Allie can easily add more assets. Let's say you get a new asset. She'll click add and up comes our screen to add assets. You can add them one by one, add a group of them, or you can do a bulk add. And it's really very easy. You can search by model. So if you already have 3 of the aspirator you just bought, you can pull up that type by model number and put in a new serial number for your new asset, add the new date that you purchased it, and go ahead and save it to your list. You can do the same thing one by one in the multiple add. You can search by type. If it's a brand new kind of piece of equipment that you don't already have, you could just do it by type and add that new make and model, or you could do the bulk add, which is very handy if you're using a spreadsheet, let's say, to bring in new assets. Instead of doing an import process, it's much easier. You just cut and paste right from the viewing screen of the spreadsheet and drop the data right in here, and it's easily added. Allie can also target assets for a specific facility using the search box. Today we'll set up a PM for Milford Valley Hospital, and there are many locations for Milford Valley Hospital that she can manage all from the same screen. So quickly again, 108 assets appear on your screen, and today Allie is going to set up a PM for aspirators. So she'll select the aspirator type, and here they are, 6 aspirators on the list. With a single click, she can add all 6 to the work order, and she could easily, just as easily have added 600. It can handle any amount, and it's equally fast. The work order is created, and as soon as it's available, here we go. Let's look at it in our order list. And so this is the, I was too fast on the trigger there. Here's our new order that we just created for our 6 aspirators. So the new orders are created in such a way that they're always accurate because they're based on preloaded assets with your serial number and with any kind of pricing involved. For our biomeds listening, accurate work orders are going to lead to accurate invoicing, which speeds up your cash flow as well. And it took just a couple of clicks to create the order. It's ready compared to maybe a dozen clicks in a legacy system in order to create a work order. So here are 6 items appear here, and they come in with a status. So the status here is awaiting approval. If you're a biomed, you can get approval from your customer. If you're a hospital, you can get approval from a senior staff member or a manager. And you get to choose what the statuses are of your work orders. You can change the names of the ones we provide out of the box. You can add more. Many of our customers have a much longer list of work order statuses than the one that you see here. All of that totally configurable during implementation. Now Alia is going to assign the new work order to a technician, so she's going to assign it to Frank. Work orders could be auto-assigned to either departments or individuals based on some kind of rules that you'll set up. So we have a rules engine for the auto assignment, maybe by make and model, maybe by specific skill set, maybe by geographic focus. You get to choose the rules. And so the key takeaway here is we saw how Cinch gave Allie the tools she needed to efficiently and accurately manage those work requests and assets. She was able to quickly target a facility, choose the list of assets, create that PM order. It just took a matter of seconds and a couple of clicks, and that allows her operations team to process orders faster and more accurately. So now we're going to turn our attention to Frank and see how he's going to perform this PM on site. So managing work orders can be difficult without a guided process and checklists to ensure that that job gets done accurately, on time, the first time. So let's look at Frank's process. So he's got this new work order in his queue. He's going to review it. This is what he's going to work on. He said, let's take a look at GOMCO 1181. He wants to see more information about this one. So the main information comes up, where it's located in the spine operating room, where he's supposed to check in. And it's got the information that you'd expect on previous orders. So anything previously done to this asset is going to appear here, and Frank can review that information. Specifications appear here, and he can see files and easily review relevant diagrams or manuals or technical documents. So here, a service agreement, here's that maintenance and service manual. That's so important for him to be able to have quick access to. Any other kind of documents, this one is an accessories guide. That's going to keep everything in one place, and it's going to make for a really great experience for Frank. Over here on the notes page, you can see these are the two problems that were already reported. If someone needs to report a problem, they would scan that asset tag and this form would appear on their smartphone. They could enter the problem here, that there's a bulb out or whatever the problem is, and they can send in this problem report that will come straight in. And now remember, we had the role and permission-based system. Down here, all the rest of this information on the asset, it's your choice whether or not you show that to your nurses and people on the floor reporting problems or not. So the work itself is going to be performed according to a checklist. So checklists are important. Checklists increase throughput rate. The technician knows what to do, what order to do it in. So these checklists are part of your big productivity gains to be able to use a checklist. They can be auto-assigned based on the asset make and model. And let's go ahead and start that. So here's our checklist. We'll go ahead and select start so you can see the checklist. They are configurable and you can do many kinds of things in here and report them in various ways. So here we're testing the equipment. Does it pass the test or not? Let's say it passes. Are there signs of physical damage? No, it passes. Evidence of fluid spills? No, it passes. Is the plug or receptacle in good working condition? Well, no, the plug is bent. So this one will fail. If the technician wants to take a picture with the tablet or a phone, it can be uploaded quickly here. So there's an image of what the problem was with the plug. And he'll continue on down this list until everything is completed. So in addition to just pass, fail, we can collect other types of information like numbers. So maximum vacuum or resistance in ohms or current in microamps. That kind of information can be easily captured here as well. When Frank is done with each of the steps in the checklist, he can mark the checklist as completed. If you're using VPADs, you can upload VPAD files in bulk. So you'll do your VPAD measurements over here. You'll click the upload to the cloud, and Cinch is going to automatically associate the specific VPAD files with the correct piece of equipment. So that's going to be very handy for any of you using VPADs. So now you can see we have a complete audit trail, full service history for every device. What about that plug? So we need to get another plug and put it on there probably. And so Frank can do that easily. He'll search for a plug up here, and he wants this hospital grade male plug. So he's going to add that onto the work order. So now we have our 6 aspirators and we've got that plug. Immediately it's decremented from inventory, so inventory is accurate. What happens if there is no male plug and it has to be ordered? So Frank can do that as well. He can select on the PO tab here, the new plug, decide which vendor it's going to come from and create that purchase quote right away. And this is going to radically speed up the time it takes in order for you to get that piece of equipment in, have it installed, and get the medical device back into action with your patients. And so now the PM is complete. If someone wants to collect the signature, you want to have it signed off that Frank was here and did all this work, you can collect somebody's signature if that's part of your process. And Frank can also change the status. He can mark the entire order as ready for review or invoiced or closed or awaiting parts, or whatever it is that your process requires Frank to do at the end to indicate he's done with that particular PM. So the key takeaway here, this is an excellent experience for Frank, right? The workflow was fully guided. It ensured no steps were skipped. The work was completed by the due date. An easy to use system like Cinch is also going to improve Frank's productivity and job satisfaction. And then accurate high quality work delivered on time is going to maximize your equipment uptime to serve your patients. So just to sum up, Cinch is a digital revolution for MRO processes that's going to improve your device uptime, improve your employee happiness, and dramatically improve your bottom line. So Alfredo, back to you.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Jody, and thank you, everyone. Well, that's just a portion of the power of our platform, and there's so much more that we can show you, but we'll be happy to schedule that with you individually. Now, thinking about your operations, long-term profitability and success hinges on continuous improvement in productivity. The medical device asset management market is currently undergoing a digital revolution, automating and digitizing processes that were once handled on paper and spreadsheets. Now, looking ahead, a change is necessary to future-proof your businesses. Now, of what we just showed you, we hope that we have piqued some interests, and we are happy to look at your processes to create a personalized return on investment by using Cinch, just like the customer success story Jody shared. So if anyone would like a deeper dive demo into our MRO solution, the repair process, warranty management, or any other feature of Cinch, please go ahead and connect with us or confirm my meeting invite, and we'll look forward to speaking to you then. That being said, thank you to TechNation for having us, and we look forward to being in touch with you all. Now we'll open up the floor, turn back to Jamie, and take some questions. Thank you very much.
I'm so excited. Thank you. That was great. I love that we got to see a live demo of the product. It's not often that we get to show software when we're doing the Tools of the Trade live demo. TechNation, I wanted to remind you, yes, we're going to get to the questions. Attendees sent quite a few good questions in right now. So feel free, send your questions in using the question feature on your webinar dashboard. We'll try to get to as many as time will allow. If we don't get to your question, I will send it to the team and they'll follow up with you offline. But this was the tool of the trade that was featured in the August issue of TechNation that's out now. You can find it on our website if you don't have the complimentary subscription that we offer to the industry. But all right, team, let me ask you some questions. First question that came in from an attendee is, what if I'm working on a PM and something fails? How can I create a service order?
Who wants to get that? I'll take that. So, so it's really easy to do, Jamie. So when you're in the view that Jody showed you, where you have the assets listed on the line items, you'll click on that asset and click on the new order tab, click plus, it'll create a new order right from there. And there will be typically, our customers will have configured some buttons. So it'll be like a diagnostic or bring it on into the shop to do some work on it. They'll add the service to it, done. You've added the order, and from there you can process that order.
Great. Easy enough. I know this was something that Jody was showing us in the demo also as she was checking the pass and the fail. Looked user-friendly to me. Let's get to another attendee question. Can the software sort completion rates of device PMs? Is there a best way to dig to the data for efficiency and HR growth?
So yes, guys, I'll actually field this one here from the technical side of the team. We absolutely can sort by completion rates, whether we provide that to you in a dashboard widget or a separate report. This is often on orders with fulfilled versus not fulfilled PMs, something, for example, that you've opened, and then perhaps those PMs were unable to be fulfilled. So there are a lot of best practices for reporting in HR growth, but a typical report is for PMs that were opened but not fulfilled for a reason. So typically, we want to see folks keep that percentage under 3%. So it's a targetable goal for organizations, very easy to look at. And again, because we have all these data points in Elasticsearch, there's not a report that we can't handle for your team.
I love
And by
that.
the way, Jamie, I'm going to add to that all of our reporting in the platform is live. So there's no saved reports. They're not running every Saturday or every midnight or whatever. Anytime you run a report, if you're on a report from 2019, it's because we're running Elasticsearch, that report is live. So if for some reason you had to go back and change an order from 2019 and you go run the report, you'll get that live.
Good. I did have quite a few attendees that were asking about price. I'll let everyone know that the team is going to follow up with you offline if that was one of the questions that you sent in. They're certainly going to offer you that deep dive demo as well to show you even more about this platform while they're addressing price. But I had one attendee that asked, how do you handle contract-specific pricing?
Can I back up? Let me just address the pricing thing. In terms of how we do pricing, one thing we don't do is play games. So one thing, as soon as you get a price from us, we do not play the user seat game. We give you a price, you can add as many users to the platform as you like. We're not going to play this thing of, well, do I get 50 users or do I get 75? And what if I don't use 75? I'm paying too much. Once you get a price, you'll be able to add as many users to the platform as you need. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I love that. Thank you so much for addressing it. The attendee wanted to know, how do they handle contract-specific pricing?
Stephen, you want to cover that?
Absolutely. So contract-specific pricing is done by pricing levels. So we'll have multiple pricing levels that are set inside of our organization, and products belong to certain pricing levels for their prices. And then you have a customer that's logged in with their pricing level. Now, the big benefit of this as well is whether you're giving them a quote or whether they're shopping online with you, they will see their price, their contract price, and what is covered with you. Now, there's also things like blanket POs and contract pricing that you have to handle for your customers, and kind of a tangential question, but we do handle that as well. But the way that we would handle that contract level pricing is through pricing levels applied to products, and then contacts in your CRM belong to one or many pricing levels, and that's how you can offer individualized pricing automatedly, no matter what you're pricing for your customer.
Good, thank you. I'm really excited to share that more than one attendee has been asking what the implementation process looks like, a timeline, what would they expect on their end if they wanted to move forward with Cinch?
Sure, I'll cover that. So we're a little behind right now, but we're getting caught up. So timeline, you're looking at anywhere from, say, 6 weeks on up to 8 or 10 weeks if it's a larger implementation. We hand everything over to you turnkey. So what we will do is we'll collect your data. So whatever assets you have from whatever system you have, we'll examine that data to find out what state it's in. So if it's coming from a system like Order, for example, and it's very clean data, for us to load that and set that up is going to be less expensive than if you have a bunch of data that you've been keeping in spreadsheets for the last 20 years. It might take a little longer, so we'll let you know how much it's going to cost to load all of that data, and then we'll specifically go through we'll gather requirements from you and find out what those workflows or those statuses are that you use in your business. So those statuses are the workflow engine, right? That drive a lot of the automation behind the scenes, and then we'll configure those, and then we'll configure anything else that we figured out that you need along the way. And then once you go live, we will you'll jump on specifically with Stephen, and he will walk your team through a process of training your team and showing your team how the product works. It usually is very, very simple and quick for your team to pick up on this. And then Stephen and a couple of other product specialists will be available as you implement during those first couple of days or even during that first week, and any tweaks that you need or any changes will be implemented during that time. And then also in the implementation process, we will go through your asset list and make sure that there's PMs assigned if they're relevant to those assets, and all those PMs are set up. Those PMs can either come from, we have a database of over 1,000 that you can use. A lot of those are coming from the manufacturer manuals. Some of them are coming from the FDA. Another one's coming from an electrical association for checking electrical outlets of healthcare providers, or we can use your own PMs. So if you have your own PMs, you can use those. I'll just wrap up quickly. If you use our PMs, once you subscribe to that PM, you can modify it to become your own PM after that. You can add things like, make sure you unplug it and wait 5 minutes before you take the circuit board out. So that's typically, and so we'll typically roll out that MRO, the maintenance repair piece first, and then add the inventory and other modules after that, if you're interested in those purchasing modules and inventory modules. I hope that answered your question.
I do have a follow-up to that question though,
Sure.
Dan. Does Cinch integrate into any test equipment to further enhance automated PM processes?
Sure. So those integrations are going to be where Jody showed you the uploading of those of the files from. I think she used. I can't hear you, Jody.
VPAT and
Fluke.
yeah,
the VPAT. So there's Fluke and several others are supported there, and so all of that data, when you upload those files, that's the automation. So all of those numbers will be attached to that specific asset, and then we have some analysis that we run on some specific assets behind the scenes as well.
Perfect. You mentioned product specialists. Are your product specialists experienced BMETs or experienced engineers?
So I mean, not in the field per se, but we've been working with the medical data for the last 4 years or so. So they're very familiar with the modalities and the lexicon in the space. So when we're using our AI engine is that Elasticsearch. So Elasticsearch is a big part of AI. We've been doing this for years using AI. And so what'll happen is our AI engine will go through and categorize and set up a lot of the, take care of a lot of the importation of the data. And then we have a team that'll go through manually and clean things up manually. And those product specialists and those team members have been doing it for many years, and they're very familiar with the medical space.
I love that. You mentioned AI, and Hindi has a question about it. Does Cinch incorporate any AI into the platform, possibly analytics with recommendations or showing where opportunities are through the use of data trends automatically?
Absolutely. That's because that Elasticsearch engine, everything's sitting in there, and so You can see, first of all, how fast it makes our application. So when you're querying a list of orders, that list of orders comes straight from Elasticsearch. It's presented to you very quickly, and then it makes it. And that's another reason why all of our reporting is real time. And so we're running AI and machine learning algorithms against that all day long for a whole host of solutions for our customers. Absolutely.
Great. I have a short question here, so I'm going to ask it. If it's something you're going to follow up offline, perfectly okay. The question reads, inventory bandwidth versus speed.
Inventory bandwidth versus speed.
So there's
Maybe
no,
if you're the one that asked that, if there's a little more clarification that you could give me to frame the question, I'm certainly happy to pose it again. But in the interim, we do have another question. I think you touched on this briefly when we got started, but I'm going to ask for clarification again. Is your product or your platform something that you could customize to fit what our healthcare facility is currently using or needing?
Absolutely. That's part of our pitch that's built in, that we mold our software and configure it to fit what your business is. So when Jody was talking about it being extensible, we have thousands of configurable switches in the back end. So you call up Steven and you say, look, I need A, B, C, or D, or one of our other specialties, even Alfredo. I want this to look a little different. I want this new status added, and I want it to send out an email or whatever, email template. And we configure that for you. And if you ask us something that's not configurable, it's something that we usually can do very, very quickly and very inexpensively. So if it's something that we don't have and you want it built in, small changes will happen within an hour or so. I mean, they're very, very quick. Yeah, I mean, we've had, so that case study that we did, there was a little bit of an issue on that case study because they had so many PMs. There was a small issue. They picked up the phone and somebody called Steven and said, oh, we're having this little issue. Steven said, let me call you back in 5 minutes. He called back in 5 minutes and said, there you go. And he tweaked the whole software, I mean, the code of the software, and pushed it out. And all they did was hit F5 on their computer screen, and they had the new version. And he's like, how does that work? And they said, that's great. So we pride ourselves on being able to configure it to work exactly the way you guys need it to work. And it depends on what fields you want to display from order. For example, if I think a lot of the hospitals are using Order Out there or other similar software. If you want subnets and IP masks and all that, displayed, and how you want to slice and dice that data, we can create exactly the experience that you're looking for.
That's great. What a great success story that you were able to share, how quick you can update the system for your clients. The attendee got back with me. I have a follow-up to that question. Inventory volume compared to the speed of the system. Some CMMS will slow down when inventory increases.
No, we're low. You can load 1 million. We have customers with very large product catalogs, very large asset catalogs. Inventory is a component of the product catalog and asset catalog, and you can have millions of pieces of inventory. Again, that's that. I don't want to kick the competition in the teeth too much, but there's a lot of old systems out there that are using old code. They're using what's called server-side code. What we've built here is what's called a serverless application, and they're using what are called relational databases, which everybody has to have. We have one as well, but we push all that up into Elasticsearch, and because that's sitting in Elasticsearch, all those calculations you're doing, if you're running reports on inventory, there could be hundreds of millions of data points, and there are in our system. There's hundreds of millions of data points throughout the system, and that Elasticsearch just churns through it very quickly. So the amount of inventory bins, inventory locations that you have is not an issue at all. It will not slow things down at all.
Love to hear that. Here's an attendee who wants to know, can a biomed add equipment, or is it just asset managers?
No, it depends on how the company wants it set up, but biomeds, typically speaking, I think we have maybe one customer where they don't let the biomeds add equipment. They want somebody else to do that. But typically speaking, the biomeds have access to add equipment and add assets. And by the way, I just want to point something out on that. When Jody was showing you how you can add assets, you can just freeform them in there as well. So if you don't know what it is, if you want to put in, a pair of glasses or whatever, like, oh, I don't know how to, you just want to type in glasses with no manufacturer, you can do that. It doesn't have to fit into our box. And then our AI will go out and try to attach that to a model overnight. And if it can't, somebody will manually review it and take a look and say, no, we don't, it's just a one-off thing. But you can add things on the fly just by free-forming them in as well.
I love this, Dan, so much. I love these product demos because it gives the technician community the opportunity to not only see it firsthand, but also to get this great interaction to where they can get their questions answered in real time. Attendees, I'm going to give you a last call on questions. If there's something that you want to ask the team, now is your chance. While you are busy typing in that last question, I'm going to turn it back over to the Cinch team. Dan, Alfredo, Jody, Stephen, I certainly appreciate your time, but are there any final words or anything you want to share before I wrap up?
Well, it's really great working with the community. We've been to the events and just love working with this community. I mean, medical is, so you can tell by, I'm a little, so you guys, we're all in the right space. All the hospitals and clinics all know this as well, because guys my age here, all of us baby boomers out there, we're not going to go to those nursing homes. I mean, we're going to be, we could have nuclear war with China, and I'm still going to be like, well, I need my knee MRI'd so I can go ski. So I mean, the baby boomers are going to spend like crazy on medical care. This market is exploding, and what we've noticed is in the MRO space in medical is going to be crushed unless it's automated, because there's just so many new devices coming out, and it's in that those turn times have to come down dramatically, right? You can't have machines sitting on the sideline that haven't been inspected, and you can't have the FDA breathing down your neck because when are you going to get these done, and when are you going to get the software updates done, and well, I don't even know what has what software on it, right? I mean, this automation has to come, and has to come right now, because all of us are going to be demanding lots of healthcare over the coming decades.
Right?
Yeah.
I love that. Well,
and
I got
Jody's pointing herself as well. Yeah.
I got one more question. I think it might be the perfect question to end on. So after this answer, I'll wrap up for everyone. But this attendee wants to know if we think we're ready to switch from our current CMMS over to Cinch. What's the process?
The first thing, you're going to send us your data, and we're going to churn through it, and we'll get back to you and let you know, well, this is going to be really inexpensive and straightforward. It came from Order, one of these other CMMSs, or you just send us 40 different spreadsheets and all have 20 tabs in them, so it's going to be a little bit more expensive. And then we're going to get on a call with you and go through your requirements. How do you currently do things? What are your current processes? And we'll mirror those processes and configure those statuses. And then we'll get back to you very quickly on a price quote. Again, getting back to pricing but it's less expensive than you're going to typically see out there. Again, it's because of the software, because the technology that we're using, it makes it's really less expensive for us to run all of this on this newer technology, if you will. So again, when you're talking about issues where you have lots of inventory items and it's slowing down the system, that's because they're using relational databases, and guess what happens when you do that to their relational databases? They got to charge you lots more money. And because we're using this newer technology, it's Elasticsearch, by the way, is open source technology. It's huge out there, and it's it does bring down the cost because of the technology that we're using. So we'll get back to you on a quote real quickly and get you scheduled in for implementation, and then we'll roll out if it's If it's a hospital and you want to start with, so we have some customers or that are starting with asset management for medical equipment, and then they're also going to be adding in phase 2 complete facilities management behind that, because it's all the same stuff.
Well, regardless, the first step is going to be contacting Cinch. And the way that you can do that, right down below, Alfred, you're right. There's email addresses and some phone numbers for Alfredo and Dan. And of course, you can pick up the August issue of TechNation magazine, flip to the tools of the trade feature, and you're going to see a screenshot, a live screenshot of their platform that'll give you a little additional detail, and their URL, which again is cinch.me. TechNation.
Look for our full page ad.
I love that you had it handy. That was perfect. Yes, look for their full page ad. It'll also be in the September and the October issue of TechNation. And guys, I hope you're going to join us at MD Expo in Orlando. That'll be a great opportunity for attendees to pick up this conversation and learn a little bit more.
Very good.
All right, guys, TechNation, I want to remind you, this was eligible for a CE credit. So if you are looking for a CE certificate, wait 1 hour from right now, and you're going to get an email that'll come to your address. You'll have to click that link and complete the survey. That survey, once completed, will give you your CE certificate that you can print at your convenience. We do have another Tools of the Trade demo that's coming up toward the end of September. If you want to see who that company is and when it's scheduled, visit webinar Wednesday.live. You'll see our live calendar for all webinars and demos. Cinch team, I can't thank you enough. This was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And TechNation, we'll see you back soon. All right, guys. Enjoy.
Hey guys, Orlando.
Thank you.
Be well, everyone.